everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make the dress that you've seen at the beginning of the video. So this is inspired by our previous pleated ruffle dress or gown, and I figured that some people may not like that approach, so I went for a simpler version and also a more plain version for those people who don't want something dramatic. So the other one already has a tutorial as well as a written pattern, and today we're getting inspired by that design to create this one. This one has a ruffle at the base. It's a bodycon fitting, and it creates a very simple yet very detailed and classy look. So for the materials, you will need yarn. The yarn that I'm using is Alize Baby Best, and I used approximately 4 balls total to make the whole dress. This will fit from a size small to medium, and for all the other sizes, maybe go a ball or 2 up or down, depending on the size that you're making for. So for me, I used a total of 4 balls for mine, and each ball is 100 grams and 240 meters. And then you also need a measuring tape. The measurements that you will need for this dress are your bust measurement, your waist measurement, your hip circumference, the length of the dress that you want, from your bust to your waist. So literally, this is going to be your best friend for this project. You will also need a 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. This is the hook that we're going to be using throughout the project. And then a darning needle to weave in your ends and a pair of scissors to cut your loose ends. So if you would like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops. You can find all the links in the description box below, as well as the links to the related content. So let's get started. Okay, so you're going to grab your hook and your yarn. The hook that I'm using right now is the smaller hook, which is supposed to work the top part of the dress, and that is the 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. And then you're going to grab your yarn, and we're going to start this project with a foundation half double crochet. So we're going to make a row of foundation half double crochets. To do that, you're going to twist over your yarn like this, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, but don't let go of this hand, and then yarn over, pull through. So that is our slip knot. Now from here, you're going to make a chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to yarn over, go into the very first chain that you made, insert your hook, pull up a loop. And for the people who know how to crochet already, you know, for a half double crochet, we would have yarned over and then pulled through all. But since we are making a foundation half double crochet, we are going to yarn over and first pull through 1 loop, just like that. And then we'll remain with 3 loops on our hook and yarn over, pull through all. So that's your half double crochet. And then there is a chain here. So that chain is where we're going to work our next half double crochet. So let's go ahead. You're going to yarn over and go into the chain that you just created, this one here, at the base of the half double crochet before. And then insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 1. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So you've created another chain here. So we're going to just repeat that. Yarn over, go into the chain that you just created at the base of the previous half double crochet, and go into both loops, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, go into the chain at the base of the previous half double crochet, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that way we're going to create a long stretch of the foundation half double crochets. We're going to have the same exact look. You can see the braided look at the base of the foundation half double crochet, and also the braided look at the top of the foundation half double crochet. So you're going to repeat this until you get your bust measurement minus 3 inches when slightly stretched. If you want tight fitting, then you're going to consider this measurement when fully stretched. But I think to create that kind of comfortable fit, you're going to make sure you're considering the measurement when slightly stretched. So keep working until you have 3 inches less than your bust circumference when slightly stretched. And I'll meet you back when I have mine, and I'll let you know how many foundation half double crochet stitches that I ended up doing. All right, so we ended up doing a total of 90 foundation half double crochets, and this is what we have. And this stretches to our bust circumference minus 3 inches. So the bust circumference that I am considering is 33 minus 3, which is a total of 30. And when I don't stretch, I have a total of 22, but this can stretch to 30 inches, as you can see here. So once you get that measurement, you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. We're going to start creating half double crochet stitches into each and every stitch. So you yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all. That's a half double crochet. And you're going to continue to half double crochet in each and every stitch from the previous row. So the fact that I have a total of 90 foundation half double crochets, that means my row 2 will also have a total of 90 half double crochets. And you're going to maintain this number until you can cover the whole of your bust, until you're under bust. So this foundation half double crochet row is at the top of your bust. Now we're going to keep working half double crochet rows to cover the whole bust, and then we shall do some shaping later on. So at the end of the row, you just chain 1 and turn your work and half double crochet in each and every stitch from the previous row, and keep doing that until your piece grows to cover your bust. So we've come to the end of row 2, and I am placing my last stitches. So that marks the end of row 2. You're going to repeat the same exact row. You just make a chain of 1 and turn your work and place 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch across. And keep doing this until you can cover your bust. I'll be back to let you know how many rows that I ended up doing, and then we shall go on to the shaping of the waist area of the piece. Alright guys, we ended up doing a total of 29 rows in order to cover the bust, and this gave me a total of 8 inches, approximately 8 inches to cover the bust. Remember, this is 3 inches less than your bust circumference when stretched. So without stretching, we have 20, and when we stretch, we go to approximately 30. So this is what we have for now, and you're going to take this measurement at the base of your piece. I know it may have shrinked at this point, but you're going to take your full measurement. You're going to pull it and see where it stops. Mine is at around 29. And you're going to count a total of 15 stitches on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. On the 15th stitch, place a stitch marker and do the same on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay. So we have 2 stitch markers on this side and on this side. So for the next row, we're going to start creating some decreases, because now we're going to consider our waistline circumference. This will be big around the waist. So we're going to create some decreases in order to shape this piece. And the waistline circumference that I am considering is 26 inches. So I should start decreasing so that when I stretch my piece, it stretches to 26 inches. But right now it stretches to around 29. So you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. This is our very first decrease row. So you go into the first stitch with a half double crochet and continue to half double crochet in each and every stitch until you have 1 stitch to the one with a stitch marker. All right, so we have 1 stitch to the one with a stitch marker. You're going to remove your stitch marker and then do 3 half double crochets together. So you yarn over, insert your hook into this one, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next one, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next one, and pull up a loop. You'll have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all. And then you're going to replace the stitch marker in the 3 half double crochet together stitch. That decrease there, you're going to place your stitch marker. And then you're going to continue to place 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch across until you get to 1 stitch to the next stitch marker, where you'll do the same exact thing as we've done here. So let me speed through this until I get to my next stitch marker. All right, so we are 1 stitch away from the stitch with the stitch marker. We are going to create another decrease on this side. So you yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the stitch that had the stitch marker, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. You'll have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all. And then continue to half double crochet. Of course, you replace the stitch marker into the 3 half double crochet together stitch, and you're going to continue to half double crochet until the end of the row. All right, so we've come to the end of the row, and that was our decrease row. Now the next row is a non-decrease row. You're going to make a chain of 1 and half double crochet once in each and every stitch all the way across, but make sure you replace your stitch marker into the same stitch of the new row. So for this row, we're not doing any decreases. This is a non-decrease row. So you just make 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch across. So when you get to the stitch with a stitch marker, you're going to remove it and then place 1 half double crochet into that stitch that had the stitch marker, and then replace it into the same stitch of the new row and continue to half double crochet once in each and every stitch. So we are basically alternating between the decrease row and the non-decrease row until the base of our work measures 3 inches less than our waistline circumference when stretched. So keep alternating between the 2 rows, and I'll meet you back to show you what my work will look like. All right, so we kept alternating between the decrease row and the non-decrease row until this can stretch to 3 inches less than the waistline circumference. So the waistline circumference that I'm considering is 26. So 26 minus 3 is 23. And you can see without stretching, I have about 18 inches. And when I stretch, it goes to 23 inches. So that's where you're going to stop. And then you're going to take a measurement from the top of your piece all the way down. And this is about 10 inches. And for me, this is hitting the waistline level. So if you don't have your waistline level at this point, you're going to continue working plain rows until you get to your waistline. But for me, this is up to the waistline. But if, let me say my waistline was at 12 inches, I would have done more plain rows. All right, so when you get all your measurements right, you're going to go back to the base of the piece and take the measurement without stretching. So I have about 17 inches. So you're going to get your waistline circumference minus the inches that you have here at this point. And that is 26 minus 17. The waistline circumference that I'm considering is 26. Minus 17, I have 9 inches. Now you're going to make your chain of 9, or the difference between your waistline circumference and the measurement that you have here. So for me, that's 9 inches. And I'm going to make my chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Nine. So I've made a chain of 40 without stretching it, and that has given me my 9 inches, the difference between the waistline and my measurement at the base of the piece. Now from here, you're going to slip stitch into the half double crochet on the opposite side. This is what you're going to have. Now we're going to start working in rounds. And this time around, we're going to start increasing at these points where we have the stitch markers. We're going to do 1 round of increase and 1 round of no increase. So you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work so that you're working in the opposite direction of the previous row. You're going to go into each and every chain with 1 half double crochet and continue to half double crochet until you reach the opposite side of the extension chain. So when you make it to the opposite side, you're going to just continue to place 1 half double crochet. You can see we are in the opposite direction of the previous row. So this is our very first round, and you're going to just place 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch until you reach the stitch with the stitch marker, where we're going to now start creating increases. So round 1 is going to be an increase round. You're going to remove the stitch marker from here, and this time we're going to place a total of 3 half double crochets, and then replace the stitch marker into the middle half double crochet. Continue to place 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch until the next stitch marker, where you'll also place an increase, as you'll see later on. All right, so we've reached our next stitch marker. You're going to remove it, and into that stitch you're going to place a total of 3 half double crochets, and then replace the stitch marker into the middle half double crochet and half double crochet once in each of the next stitches until the end of the round. So I'm placing my last half double crochet into the last stitch here, and you're going to go into the first half double crochet of the round and place a slip stitch, and then you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. All right, so this is what we have. We're going to locate the exact middle of this extension and we're going to attach our yarn. I want the seam line of the dress to be in the center back of the piece. So I'm going to locate one stitch somewhere in the middle and attach my yarn just like this. So we're going on to round 2. You're going to make a chain of 1 and half double crochet into the very first stitch, and then continue to half double crochet once in each and every stitch. So this is a non-increase round. We are going to keep alternating between the increase round, where we place 3 stitches into the stitch with a stitch marker, and then the non-increase round where you just go all the way around with 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch. So keep working the 2 rounds, alternating between the non-increase round and the increase round. Right, guys, I continued to increase until I got half of my hip circumference when stretched. As you can see here, when I stretch my work, it can go to about 20 inches, which is half of the hip circumference that I'm considering for this dress. And then after that, I just started doing plain rounds without any increases on the sides. That's why we have this kind of shaping that spreads out to the side, and then we have a flat shaping on the lower part, because at this point, after getting half of my hip circumference when stretched, I started doing plain rounds. And at the moment, this is how my dress looks like. Now you're going to do your dress until the level at which you want your lower ruffle to be. So from the point when I joined my piece to start working in rounds, I did a total of 40 rounds altogether, and this is what the dress looks like, as you can see in the image. Now I'm going to start my base ruffle. So after your slip stitch, you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. So I've made a chain of 1 and turned my work, but since I want to do double crochets for the ruffles, instead of only chain 1, I'll make 2 more chains to count as a double crochet. So I have a total of 3 double crochets. Now you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round. All right, so after your chain of 3, you're going to go into the same exact stitch with 2 more double crochets. So that means we have a total of 3 double crochets in the very first stitch. Now you're going to go in each and every stitch after that. Make sure you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round. So go into each and every stitch with 3 double crochets all the way around. 3 double crochets in each and every stitch. And I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. So you can see how the ruffle is already forming itself. Can see that. Go all the way around with 3 double crochets in each and every stitch, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round. All right, so we're almost coming to the end of the round, and you can see how the ruffle is running all the way around the dress, the base of the dress. And I'm still going into each and every stitch with 3 double crochets. So keep doing that until you place 3 double crochets in the very last stitch of the round, and you're going to slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round, just like that. You insert your hook and pull through. So that marks the end of the first round of the ruffles. This is what the base of the dress will look like. Now for the next, all right, so for round 2 of the ruffles, you're going to make a chain of 3, and you're just going to go into each and every stitch with 1 double crochet. This time we are not increasing at all. We're just going to go all the way around with 1 double crochet into each and every stitch, and we are working in the same direction of as the previous round. This time we are not working in the opposite direction of the previous round. We're just going to go into each and every stitch with 1 double crochet until the end of the round. And this is the round that we are going to keep repeating until we have the length of the ruffle that we want for our dress. I'll be letting you know how many rows that I ended up doing. Just keep working around, and then when you come to the end of the round, you place a slip stitch into the top of the first chain 3, and then chain 3 and 1 double crochet in each and every stitch around. All right, so I'm coming to the end of round 4 of the ruffles, and that is going to be my last round. That's going to be my last round, but you can go ahead and make as many rows as you wish for your ruffle to be. If you want it longer, you can do maybe 2 more rows, but this is going to be my last round, and you're going to slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. Make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. At this point, we are done with our ruffle. This is what it looks like. This is what the bottom of our dress looks like. And now we're going to go onto the top part and create our sleeves or straps, as well as the back shaping of the dress. You're going to fold over your upper part of the dress, just like this, and you're going to locate the middle stitch. If you prefer to be more accurate, go ahead and count the number of stitches that you started with and locate the exact middle stitch. For me, I'm going to just fold over my work like this, and I'm going to get the contrasting color, which is pink, and mark the middle stitch. So we are having the middle stitch marked at this point, and then you're going to count a total of 12 stitches from the one with the stitch marker. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12, and into that 12th stitch you're going to place the orange stitch marker, and then do the same exact thing on the opposite side of the pink stitch marker or the middle stitch marker. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. Okay, so we have 2 orange stitch markers. This is going to be the exact middle of the dress, and then at this point you can remove the pink one because it's no longer needed. This is going to be the space between our straps. So at this point you can either make it wider or narrower, depending on the space that you want to leave in between the 2 straps of your dress. Now I'm going to go ahead and create straps, and those straps I'm going to use an approach that's very familiar for those people who have been around for a while. You know exactly how to work with these straps. So you're going to go into the stitch with a stitch marker, and you're going to attach your yarn, and I've gone back to my 3.5mm crochet hook. So you're going to attach your yarn, and we've gone back to our solid color, which is the Alize Baby Best. So you're going to make a chain of 3. This is a very popular approach on our channel. you're going to make a chain of 3 and double crochet into the same exact stitch, and then make a chain of 3 and double crochet into the space between the 2 stitches below. So this is going to create some sort of segments. So you're going to go ahead and make a chain of 3 and double crochet into the space between the 2 stitches of the segment below, and you're going to see your strap growing. So just like that, you're going to create these little segments. So far we have a total of 5, and for me, I'm going to grow mine until I have about 13 to 14 inches. But if you're a larger size, maybe consider 15 inches. So I have 3 inches right now. So let me just keep working. Chain 3. So far I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let me take a measurement. Remember, I've told you I want a total of about 13 inches. Let's see what we have. Yeah, I have a total of about 16 segments, and this has given me my 13 inches. So let's cross check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So my 16 segments have given me a total of 13 inches when slightly stretched. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this particular strap onto the stitch on this side. Locate a stitch on the edge of the back side of the dress and create a slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch, just like that. And then you're going to make a chain of 3, and we are going to go back onto the strap. Turn your work so that you're working along the double crochet side, not the chain side. So remember, the strap has a side that has chain 3s and then the side that has double crochets. So on the side of the double crochets, that's where you're going to place your single crochet, just like that. And then make a chain of 3 and single crochet in the next segment. Chain 3, single crochet in the next segment. And you're going to repeat that all the way back to the beginning of the strap, which is going to be the front side of our dress. So this is what our strap is going to look like. You can see it's very solid, and it's something that we can rely on because it's not sewed onto the piece. It's more like part of the actual dress. Continue to chain 3 and single crochet into the next segment. All right, so I'm chaining 3 and single crocheting into the very first segment of the strap, And now you're going to turn your work like this so that the strap is not twisted. Make sure your strap is not twisted. And now you can go ahead and make a chain of 3. And actually, don't chain 3 at this point. After your single crochet into the last segment, just place a slip stitch into the next stitch from the one where you attached your strap. You'll just make a slip stitch there and then make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So at this point we have just created our very first strap. As you can see here, it's properly attached onto the dress on one of the sides, and this is what it looks like. We're going to go ahead and do the same exact process. Just rewind the video and attach a second strap onto the opposite side of the dress. So you can see how the strap looks like. Very beautiful. So here we're going to attach our yarn here and repeat the same exact process. Attach onto the stitch on this side and then come back onto the strap until you get back to the front of the dress. Alright guys, we are done with both our straps. Oh my god, I'm very pleased with the look of the straps. It's a very simple approach, but something a bit detailed. It's not just a plain strap. So once you get done with this, you can go ahead and turn your work to the back side, and you can tie the 2 loose ends that are created by attaching the straps and getting done with the straps. You can just go ahead and make a double or a triple knot to be even more secure. From here, you're going to cut your yarn and do the same on the opposite side. You can now remove your stitch markers. Mine are here, and I think their duty is now finished. Now that we have these beautiful straps attached onto the top of our dress, we're going to turn our dress onto the back side. So far we are on the right side of our dress, but we are going to turn our dress onto the back side. Oh my god, the dress is really heavy. Oh, okay. All right, so this is what we are having. We have our straps here, and then the back shaping of the dress. Now we're going to go ahead and clean up this edge first before doing anything else. We're going to clean up that edge properly so that it sort of creates a foundation for the lace up at the back of the dress. So you're going to grab your yarn and your 3.5mm crochet hook, and you're going to attach your yarn in one of the corners, one of the top corners of the dress. So just like this, attach your yarn, and then we are going to place one, I think I'll go with a half double crochet. So half double crochet in each and every row all the way down. I'm using a half double crochet because it's a bit simpler. It's not very tight. It's something that also maintains the shape of the garment. So in each and every row, place a half double crochet to clean up the edge until you get to the lower section here, and I'll show you what to do next. All right, so we've made it all the way down here, and once you place a half double crochet into the last row here, you're going to go into each and every stitch or chain. Remember the extension chain that we made. You're going to go into each and every chain with 1 half double crochet, because this was the extension chain that increased to our waistline circumference. So you're going to go all the way across, going into each chain with 1 half double crochet. So what we are trying to do right now is go all the way across and then go all the way up, and I'll meet you back at that point. Alright guys, we are done, and as you can see, I've made it all the way up to this side. We've cleaned up the edge right from here all the way to this side. Now we're going to go back onto the same exact half double crochet stitches that we just made, but before we do that, I want to make a slip stitch into this segment, the very first segment on this side, just to secure it even more. You can see what that has created. Before, this looked like it was hanging, so we want to kind of incorporate it into what we already have. So we are going to make a chain of 4 and turn our work. You're going to skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next, just like that, and then chain 1, skip 1 stitch and double crochet into the next. So we are going to create a mesh pattern on the half double crochet stitches that we just placed. So the chain of 4 at the beginning of the row counts as a double crochet, chain 1, and you're going to continue to chain 1, skip 1 stitch and double crochet into the next, all the way to the opposite side. So we're going to create this lovely mesh pattern, as you can see here, all the way to the upper side where we started the half double crochet stitches from. So even when you come to the extension chain at the back of the dress, continue to place your mesh pattern. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and double crochet into the next stitch all the way across, and then start working the mesh pattern on this side as well. You can see we are done with one side and now we are here, and then you continue working until here, and I'll meet you back at that point. Alright guys, now that we are through with the mesh edging of the back opening of the dress, we're going to just go back one more time with a single crochet stitch. This is to clean up the edge and also to work on the right side of the work, because now we are on the wrong side. The previous row is on the wrong side of the work. But for the final one, you're going to make a chain of 1 and place 2 single crochets in each and every chain 1 space, just to clean up that edge perfectly well before we go onto the strap. So 2 single crochets in each and every box. You can see the difference that we have here as opposed to this side where we haven't placed anything. So just go up ahead and clean up the edge by placing 2 single crochets in each and every chain 1 space until you place 2 single crochets in the very first box. The first box of the previous row, that's what I meant. Or the last box at the end of the row that we are working on right now. So if you see your work kind of gathering, don't try to stretch it out, just leave it as it is. This is going to also create that feel of no one has worn this piece before, and that's exactly what you want for your client to feel like, because sometimes they're a bit dramatic when they feel like someone has tried on their order or something. So if you're making this order for someone and you feel like your work is kind of gathering, you can just give it a little tag. And you can see the difference that we have on this side as opposed to what we have on this side. Those are always the final touches that I keep talking about. Like, the final touch of a project will speak volumes. It will make the piece even better than what it would have been. So make sure you always put an extra effort to work on the final touches of your projects. All right, so I'm placing my last 2 single crochets into the last box here, and you can see how beautiful our back side of the dress is right now. Once you get done with this, you are going to make a chain of 1, and then you can cut your yarn at this point. We shall weave this in later on, and this is what the back side of our dress looks like. Now we're going to go ahead and create a strap. That strap is going to lace up at the back of the dress to hold the dress perfectly well and shape the body the exact way that we want it to be. Something like this. So instead of using a single strand, this time around I'm going to use a double strand so that I can get some sort of thicker strap. I'm going to use a double strand and then switch to my 4mm crochet hook. I have it here, the one that we used for the lower design, and we're going to make a slip knot and make a very long chain of about 300 to 400 chains, I believe, because this is a really long distance and I'm not going to skip so many boxes in between. So about 300 to 400 chains. I'll let you know how many that I'll end up making. So you can see your strap is going to be a little bit thicker than just using a single strand. So go ahead and make a long chain and I'll meet you back to show you how to lace up the back of this dress. Alright, so I ended up doing a total of 300 chains. I feel like this could go longer, but I think I'll leave it at 300. Now you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. So this is the chain that's going to act as our back strap. We're going to start lacing up the back of our dress right from the very first box. The first box of the mesh pattern on both sides. And try to balance your strap. Try to make it a little bit balanced so that you don't end up with one side being longer than the other. And then you're going to skip 2 boxes and then into the next box you're going to crisscross and lace up into the next. Okay, just like this. Skip 2 boxes and crisscross, lace up into the next box. Okay, skip 2 boxes, crisscross. So you're going to repeat that until you get to this level. right, so we are now going to go in and out of every box. So you can use a darning needle, but I'm going to just go in and out of every box until the middle of the dress. So I'm going to do the same exact thing on this side, in and out of every box. Until you get to the middle of the dress. So this is what we have, and this will tighten the lower part of the dress just like this to create that perfect fitting around the waist. I hope you guys can see that snatched look already before we even try it on. So at this point you can go ahead and tie a knot, and at the ends of the straps you can either place a bead or put some shells or tassels, but I'm not going to do that. Mine is going to be as simple as you can see it here. So I'm going to get rid of the excess yarn, and that is basically it, guys. Get your darning needle and weave in all your ends, and let's see the final look of our dress.